What if everything we believe about the limits of the human body, about hunger, nourishment, and even biology itself, was wrong? In the blistering heat of the Indian sun, a man sat still, wrinkled skin like folded parchment, long hair twisted in thick braids, a serene glow radiating from eyes that seemed to have seen lifetimes. Doctors surrounded him. Scientists stood baffled. They had come to investigate an impossible claim that this man had not eaten food or drunk water, not for a day, not for a week, but for over 70 years. His name was Prahlad Jani, and his existence seemed to defy the very laws of nature. How can a human being survive without physical sustenance for decades? Was it deception, a trick of the mind? Or had he truly tapped into a hidden reservoir of spiritual energy, an ancient secret long forgotten by the modern world? Throughout history, mystics have whispered of such abilities, yogis who live on sunlight, saints who draw energy from the divine, and ascetics who transcend pain and hunger through profound meditation. But science, rooted in the material world, scoffs at such claims. The body, it says, must consume. The mind must sleep. The heart must obey the flesh. But what if it doesn't? In today's journey, we will explore the mysterious life of this extraordinary monk, uncovering ancient philosophies that speak of prana, divine nourishment, and the power of pure consciousness. We will step beyond science, beyond skepticism, and into the realm where spirit commands matter. This isn't just the story of one man. It's a question that reaches into the soul of every seeker. What am I really made of? And what limits have I unknowingly accepted as truth? To understand how a person might live without food or water, we must look not at modern biology, but at ancient spiritual science. In Hinduism, the body is not merely flesh and blood, but composed of 5 koshas, sheaths or layers that move from the physical to the divine. At the most subtle level, beyond the mind, lies the Anandamaya kosha, the bliss body, where nourishment flows not from food but from consciousness itself. Many ancient Indian yogis spoke of prana, the life force energy that sustains all living beings. They claimed that when one becomes attuned to prana through deep meditation and control of the senses, the body begins to draw sustenance directly from the cosmos. This is not exclusive to India. In Taoist alchemy, practitioners learn to refine internal energies and live without external needs. In Christian mysticism, saints like Saint Catherine of Siena and Teresa Neumann reportedly lived for years on nothing but the Eucharist, or in some cases, nothing at all. Even the Qigong masters of China were said to harness cosmic energy through breath and movement. These stories were never merely symbolic. They were whispers of a truth that our materialistic world has long forgotten. That matter is malleable to spirit. Prahlad Jani's case is one of the most well-documented modern echoes of this ancient path. He claimed that at the age of 8, a goddess appeared to him, placed her fingers on his lips, and declared that he would never need to eat or drink again. From that moment, he said, his hunger vanished. His life became one of solitude, devotion, and meditation. Twice, Indian military doctors studied him under strict observation, 24-hour surveillance in a hospital setting. They found no signs of food intake, no urination, no defecation, and yet his health remained stable. How is this possible? We are told we are just chemical machines, but mystics have long said otherwise. They say the body is not a prison, it is a temple, and its true fuel is divine. To understand how a person might transcend the need for physical nourishment, we must examine the bridge between the physical and the energetic. The human body is like a musical instrument. Food, water, and sleep are like the strings and tuning knobs that keep it in harmony. But what if one learns to play the instrument using a different force entirely? In yogic traditions, this force is known as prana, the subtle energy that flows through nadis, energy channels, and concentrates in the chakras. Just as electricity powers machines, prana animates the body. When most people are disconnected from this source, they must rely on dense physical forms of energy, food, and drink. But advanced practitioners learn to absorb prana directly from the air, from light, from sacred sounds, or even from pure stillness. This is not fantasy. Even in physics, we know that matter is energy condensed. If one learns to interact with energy directly, they are not defying science. They are operating on a higher octave of its laws. Prahlad Jani claimed to live entirely on prana. He meditated for hours a day, never slept, and remained in deep inner silence. His body in this state entered a kind of energetic self-sufficiency, like a closed-loop system, recycling its own fluids, absorbing energy from the ether, and maintaining homeostasis without external input. This process is known in some circles as breatharianism, a controversial term, often dismissed due to frauds and misunderstandings. But at its root is a powerful idea, that spiritual mastery unlocks new modes of nourishment. Not everyone can or should attempt it, but it stands as a profound example of the human potential to transcend biological norms. Imagine your body as a candle. Most burn from the wax of food and drink, but some rare few learn to burn from an internal flame, fed by consciousness alone. But there's more. This phenomenon is not simply about sustenance. It's about identity, what we believe we are. Prahlad Jani did not simply abstain from food. He existed in a state of deep alignment with something greater, a kind of non-dual awareness where the body and spirit are no longer separate. In this state, fear disappears, desire dissolves. The body becomes a vessel for the divine, not a machine driven by instinct. Modern neuroscience may call this state altered consciousness, but ancient traditions called it samadhi, a merging with source. In such a state, the usual biological needs become optional, because the soul has remembered what it truly is, eternal, whole, and nourished by the cosmos itself. This doesn't mean the physical body is unimportant, but that it responds to the quality of our consciousness. Just as emotions can change heart rate and breath, deep meditative states can shift metabolism, cell regeneration, and even brain chemistry. There are also teachings in Tibetan Buddhism where advanced monks undergo tumo, a practice that raises body temperature using only meditation. In the freezing Himalayas, these monks sit naked in the snow, melting ice with their inner fire. These are not tricks. They are signposts, evidence that when the mind surrenders to spirit, the body follows. What Prahlad Jani represented was not an anomaly. He was a mirror, a reflection of what lies dormant in every human being. Not that we should all stop eating, but that we must begin asking, what are we truly feeding in our lives? Are we sustained by truth, beauty, and sacred rhythm? Or only by habit, distraction, and consumption? Now, most of us are not called to live in a cave for 70 years. But the essence of this teaching is not about food, it's about energy mastery. Start simple. Begin with mindful eating. Before every meal, pause, breathe, feel gratitude. Ask your body, not your habit, what it truly needs. This shifts you into energetic alignment. Next, explore the flow of prana. Try breathing exercises like alternate nostril breathing, nadi shodhana, or box breathing. These regulate your nervous system and invite subtle awareness. Then integrate periods of silence and fasting, even for a few hours. Not as deprivation, but as an offering. Give space for spirit to speak through the silence. Meditation is key, not to escape the world, but to tune into its deeper layers. As you sit in stillness, you begin to sense the vast energetic body beneath the surface of flesh. Also, become mindful of your mental diet. The thoughts, media, and words you consume feed your inner world. Choose wisely. Like food, what you absorb shapes your energy field. Above all, cultivate the practice of inner listening. There is a voice beyond hunger, beyond mind, that already knows how to live in harmony. That voice is ancient, it is wise, and it remembers what the world has forgotten. The story of the monk who didn't eat for 70 years is not a tale of superhuman defiance. It is a whisper from the hidden chambers of possibility. It tells us that the boundaries we believe in, of body, mind, and world, are far thinner than we think. That within us lies an untapped source of energy, clarity, and peace that no food can give, and no science can fully explain. You may never renounce all meals. You may never melt snow with your breath. But you can remember this. You are not just flesh. You are light, wrapped in matter. You are not fed by bread alone. You are sustained by the mystery itself. And when you begin to live from that mystery, the world becomes less a place to survive and more a place to awaken. Let this story ignite the deeper hunger within you, not for food, but for truth, not for sustenance, but for remembering who you really are.